who's got what it takes to make it to the knockout stages.
Great finish! And the superstar from Madeira completes his hat-trick here.
Group G is for Germany, Portugal, Ghana and the USA. I'm Ash Hashim and tonight I'll be giving you a comprehensive preview of those teams with the help of Roshan and Matthias. First, here's a close look at those 4 teams.
Each match has its story. There's Jürgen against Yogi. USA coach and German football legend Jürgen Klinsmann will face his old assistant and successor Joachim Jogi Löw. He's already drawn first blood when the USA won 4-3 in a thrilling encounter against the second-string Germany in a June friendly last year. Then there's Portugal, who were dragged to the finals by the class of Ballon d'Or winner Cristiano Ronaldo. And they can beat anyone on their day. It's one of Africa's top teams. Ghana are no slouches either, so Group G has depth, no doubt about it.
And with me now is Roshan. Well, Roshan, we're talking about one of the groups of death, Group G in this World Cup. We have so many teams participating. We have Germany, with Ghana. I mean, what are your thoughts, initial thoughts in this group?
I think it's going to be a fantastic group. I mean, Germany, Portugal, Ghana and the US. Looking at some of the other groups in the World Cup as well, this is one of the toughest ones and one of the most interesting ones. You got a few interesting stories here, the likes of Klinsmann going up against Jogi Löw. Klinsmann used to be coach of Germany, now Jogi Löw has taken over with some success with the team as well. Yeah. And then you've got the Boateng brothers going up against each other, Kevin Prince from Ghana, Jerome from Germany. Yes. So it adds a lot of spice to the occasion. It's going to be fantastic to watch. It's a chance for Cristiano Ronaldo as well to stake his claim. People say that he's not a man, for the big occasion. It's a chance for him in his World Cup to bring Portugal to the next level. Some difficult teams that he'll be playing against, so it'll be interesting to watch.
Interesting that you just said that, because Cristiano has just recently won the Ballon d'Or and because he actually single-handedly brought Portugal to the World Cup. So how do you actually see him, performing in this year's tournament? Will he be the man to send them to the next round, the round of 16?
He definitely has to, doesn't he? I mean, he's their main man. He's definitely got all the skills to do it. I think he totally deserved that Ballon d'Or award. People are saying that Frank Ribéry should have won it because he's won more titles. But for me, I think if you're looking at who's the best player in the world, then you have to look at his numbers. They're phenomenal, and the way he's playing, he's just right up there. He's probably the best at the moment. I mean, he can do everything. He could probably play at centre-back as well. Yep. The kind of skills he's got, the strength he has, he's great in the air, he's quick on the ground, his feet is so quick. He can shoot, he can head, he can do everything basically. So he's a complete player, and he's a big plus point for Portugal. It's definitely an opportunity for him there to drag this Portuguese side as far as he can.
Now, I know European teams, they don't usually do so well in South American countries. I mean, in this group, we have Germany and Portugal. How do you see them faring? I mean, in Brazil, in such a climate, like a tropical climate? I
think Portugal may not have that much of a problem. Germany, I know that they are going there maybe a little bit earlier, and they're going to build a dedicated base for themselves. So it should be fun. I mean, they're going there, they have the quality. All that's left for them to do is now to go and show the world what they can do.
Thanks, Roshan. Matthias Spitzmüller was the obvious choice for us when looking for an expert on German football. He's been a regular part of FC Daily's weekly look at the Bundesliga for 3 years now, as he combines his love for football with his work at the National University of Singapore's business faculty.
Matthias Spitzmüller is an assistant professor at the National University of Singapore and a die-hard fan of Bundesliga club Freiburg. His knowledge of the game in Germany has meant that he's the go-to guy now on German football here in Singapore.
The euphoria and excitement which you see in German football stadium is, I think, unparalleled. You see a lot of excitement in the Premier League, but I think there a lot of it is focused on the top 4 or 5 teams, whereas in Germany you have got packed stadiums from the top to the bottom of the league. 60,000 people watching teams such as Hamburg, even though this team is right now involved in a relegation battle.
Matthias remains active as a member of the German All-Stars football team who play regularly in one of the local leagues. It helps him to remain connected with his home country.
For all of us, this is home far away from home. That's how we like to think of it. This is a German football team established in Singapore that gives us an opportunity to stay connected to our identity as German football players.
Matthias's profile has grown in the Singapore media as a Bundesliga expert on the Football Channel. It was something that began by chance some 3 years ago, but now he enjoys the interaction with his fellow pundits from other countries.
You also see in those conversations that our national background also shapes how we think about football, how Antonio thinks about how the game of football should be played, how Nasser thinks about how football should be played, and myself. And seeing that in action and engaging in those conversations for me has also been very rewarding. And on top of that, I also just enjoy the weekly trash talk which I receive when I go to football practices and when my teammates tell me, what have you been talking about again last Friday?
Football and the World Cup is a passion for the Freiburg fan. The German All-Star squad member is looking forward to the World Cup in 5 months' time and the social events that go with it.
If anything, I would say that having lived outside of Germany in all those years has strengthened our national identity in me. While I was in Germany, that has never been as salient to my identity as it is right now when you're living abroad, when I think you're also trying to reconnect with the country that you have left. You mentioned the changes that the Bundesliga has gone through in recent years. It's definitely become much more attractive, and I think you also see that with the increasing attention that it has received internationally. The German Football Federation has done a fantastic job since 2002, when Germany didn't even make it out of the group stages of the Euro Cup, to promote the development of talent in German football clubs. And that has really paid off.
And he's here with me now, our Bundesliga expert, Matthias Spitzmüller. Welcome to the show, Matthias. Well, Germany are in the group of death, Group G. What are your thoughts on the German people's expectations for this game, for this group?
Yeah, no matter what the group composition is, the expectations of the German people are really tremendously high this time. If we look at the recent history, finishing second at the Euro Cup 2008, finishing third at the World Cup and at the last Euro Cup, people believe that this team could really make the next step at this World Cup. We all know that there's never been a European team that has won the World Cup on American soil, but people in Germany believe that this should be the first time that this would happen, and people also hope that this is going to be the first World Cup title for Germany since 1990.
Yes, and clearly with that kind of expectation, there's a lot of pressure on the players as well, because we have some of the top Bundesliga players playing for Germany. What are some of the players we should be looking out for, in your opinion, in the German side?
I think a lot depends on Mesut Özil, and for one, because he's a fantastic player and he's shown that times and times again for Real Madrid. He's also shown that in the Premier League this season for Arsenal, and he's shown it for the national team. But the reason why I believe he's so key is because sometimes there are games in which you don't see him at all. And obviously, if he has got such a poor performance in key matchups in the semi-final, or if there should be a rematch against Spain at some point, we would not be able to win these games. And that's why I really believe that he's our key player. On top of that, other key performers of this team for me are Philipp Lahm, our captain, where I'm very curious to see whether he's going to play on a holding midfielder position, or if he's still going to play as a fullback, which he's done for most of his career. And then Manuel Neuer, just elected to be a goalkeeper of the year worldwide. I think we can also expect him to provide enough support for this German defense to prevail even against strong offenses such as Portugal that we're going to face in the first game of the tournament.
Well, on that note of players, I mean, the Ballon d'Or, we have not seen many German players winning in the last decade or so. I mean, what are your thoughts on that? I mean, do you think this year would be the year after the German World Cup for them to actually pick up a German player to win it?
Well, the thing with German players is that they oftentimes don't stand out that much as individual performers. If I think of Philipp Lahm, if I think of the contributions that he is making to Bayern Munich, to the German national team, he is as valuable as any player can be to his team, I believe. But you don't see him as much on the field, because oftentimes he also chooses the simple yet effective pass to the man that is just positioned next to him on the field, instead of going into unnecessary dribblings, instead of shooting the ball from long distance, long-range passes. He avoids a risky element to their game, which is why he doesn't stand out that much. But personally, I believe that a player like him could really be one of the key performers in this German team and hopefully also take us to glory.
Well, if you look at the Euro 2012, I mean, when in the German side, there was a lot of camaraderie. The players were not going out. They were cycling. There was a lot of off days. During those off days, I mean, do you think Joachim Löw, the coach, I mean, I don't know whether I pronounced it correctly, but do you think he will actually be doing the same thing with the players, a bit more relaxed in Brazil? What will be his technique in Brazil?
Right, I think ever since 2006 at the World Cup in Germany, the German coaches have learned that there has to be a fun element to the game if a team is to succeed. I mean, you bring those people together for 6 weeks and they have to get on, they have to enjoy their time with each other to really succeed. And I think Joachim Löw has done well in recent tournaments to give them enough freedom, yet at the same time also emphasize discipline enough so that they're focused, concentrated, well prepared for games. If anything, he's one of the most meticulous coaches, and he will discuss at lengths for hours with his assistants how much time his players will have at their disposal. So I think he's doing very well in that respect.
Well, you know, Germany have reached the World Cup finals, I think 7 times, the finals, without actually winning it. I mean, what are the expectations like? I mean, this time, if they fail to win in Europe, because it's very, I mean, in Brazil, because it's really difficult for a European team to win in South American continents, you know, the climate and everything like that.
Well, the expectation in Germany is that, or the current sentiment is, this is a team that many people believe represents something like our golden generation, like players such as Bastian Schweinsteiger, Mesut Özil, Philipp Lahm. People also believe or recognize that the golden generation has come into an age at which chances are not gonna repeat themselves easily. So if they don't take it this time, at the next World Cup, Bastian Schweinsteiger is going to be already 33 years old. So people think this has to be our chance. We have to take it this time.
Thank you. And we're going for a quick break now. But we'll be back with Matthias as he gives us his thoughts on Germany's chances in Brazil in Group B against Portugal, Ghana and the USA.
I think this is Germany's time to win the World Cup. If you look at the recent results at major competitions, finishing second at the Euro Cup 2008, finishing third at the last World Cup and also finishing third at the last Euro Cup. This is a hungry team in which the young players have matured, and I really think that Jogi Löw's team have got something to prove and they want to leave an impression in this tournament.
If ever a side deserved to raise the trophy high, it is Bayern Munich.
And the treble is going home to Munich.
Dempsey brought into the team by Guardiola, has paid off immediately. Bayern Munich, the new champions of the world.
Catch Bayern Munich in the Bundesliga.
Thomas Müller hits it first time and he finds the back of the net. The rebound from the Flying Dutchman straight onto his head for the opener.
Only on the Football Channel.
Super Bayern indeed.
This is Alpecin Caffeine Shampoo for men. Take a good look because it's moving fast. In fact, it sold over 2 million bottles in Germany last year alone. To find out why, get down to leading drugstores, supermarkets or pharmacies. Alpecin Caffeine Shampoo. German engineering for your hair.
Now you can take all your Disney Junior friends along for the ride, or take your favorite Disney Channel shows anywhere you go. You can even have your own backyard adventure with Disney XD. Only StarHub TV Anywhere lets you catch your favorite Disney shows live on your iPad, iPhone, and iPod Touch. You and your family can now watch Disney Channel, Disney XD, and Disney Junior anytime, anywhere by downloading the Watch apps from iTunes App Store. Available now. Where will you watch?
back to our FC Daily World Cup special, and tonight we're looking at Group G. Germany are regarded as favourites, but they will not have it easy in their quest for a fourth World Cup title, having been placed in a group with Portugal, Ghana and the USA. Here's a look at the fixtures that await Germany in the group phase. Germany kick off their World Cup campaign on the 16th of June with a tough clash against Portugal at the Arena Fonte Nova in Salvador. Things don't get any easier for the Germans as they then take on Ghana on the 21st in Fortaleza. Then on the 26th of June, Germany will face a reunion with former coach Jurgen Klinsmann and his American side in Recife. Portugal are the most dangerous threat to Germany in Group G, and one player certainly stands above all others. It's Ballon d'Or winner Cristiano Ronaldo, and his stats are incredible. He has scored 66 goals in 56 games for his country, and that includes 5 hat-tricks. One came against Northern Ireland in last year's World Cup qualifier match.
Big night for Northern Ireland and an equally important occasion for Portugal here at Windsor Park. The destiny of both these teams will be decided and could well have a bearing what happens here tonight, what will unfold. The Portuguese in particular, of course, top of the group. Portugal, the corner swings in. Oh, it's directed into the net, placed into the net very, very accurately. And Bruno Alves waiting his chance, the 31-year-old. And that's really heartbreak for Northern Ireland, because it was a bit of sloppy defending by them. They just went slightly perhaps to sleep, but that's the breakthrough goal. The ball comes in his direction. The header is good. Oh, it's an own. They've equalised. Northern Ireland have done it, and that man, as we said, Gareth McCauley, up there in the right place at the right time. A lovely, lovely angled header. Hung up in the air high. The header goes towards goal. It's almost in. It has gone in. Oh, that's a messy goal. From Portugal's point of view, Northern Ireland do not care. They have taken the lead. Portugal, the defence, the goalkeeper did not deal with that ball. Portugal trying to seize the moment. Northern Ireland, everybody back behind the ball at the moment. Good defending. There's a shot. Oh, Carroll. Marvellous one-handed save from Roy Carroll. Just got his hands on that ball. Terrific goalkeeping there from the Northern Ireland goalkeeper. Continuing here at Windsor Park. Again, it's in. The header's down, and it's the back of the net. Oh, that's the equalising score. Ronaldo just peeling off his man off the front post. Northern Ireland hadn't protected the near post, and he's only got his second goal of his qualifying campaign. Scored his only previous goal in the first game, the very first qualifier against Luxembourg. But there he peeled off his man. And Carl Lafferty had just come onto the field of play. Third of the pitch off to our right. Ball launched high again. A flick header. It's in the back of the net. And nothing Carroll could do about it this time. Ronaldo. Well, he really has chosen to come to life in the second half with his second goal of the night. And another header. In fact, a lot of his goals are headers. He's quite a big lad, Cristiano Ronaldo. 6 foot plus. And he really has played the captain's part tonight, led by example. Certainly anxious moments for Roy Carroll on the goal line there. Well, here comes Ronaldo now, strikes it low, and he finds the back of the net. And the superstar from Madeira completes his hat-trick here. And no doubt about the winners now of this tie. The points are going back to Portugal. Moments tonight as well when things didn't go his way, but it's worked out in the end by the look of things for Portugal. Pepe again now launches the long one. Nani makes the run behind the defender. Unsettle the Northern Ireland defence. There's a late goal in it for Portugal here. Nani still in possession, still Nani, bit of trickery in the penalty area for the Manchester United player, and slots it back and a chance to shoot for goal, and it's well cleared off the line. And there goes the final whistle. It has been a night of frustration for Northern Ireland, but this man, Cristiano Ronaldo, the hero, once again for Portugal, a hat-trick. They're the happy team, and they'll be going back with 3 points.
And you can see Cristiano Ronaldo's hat-trick against Northern Ireland again on the Football Channel tomorrow morning, with the full match being shown at 8:30 as part of the World Cup qualifying encore match series.
Now, Matthias, before we look at Portugal, I mean, we have to go through the fact that Germany will be playing Portugal before any of the other teams. Do you think psychologically this is going an effect on the players should they lose to Portugal? I mean, they're going to play USA and Ghana. Will it affect, will it affect the German national teams,
Fortunately, I think history is on the side of the German team. First, they have defeated Portugal at 2 successive Euro Cups, and players remember that. And at the same time, this German team is just used to winning in the group stages of the tournament. Since 1966, there have only been 3 World Cups in which Germany hasn't made it to the semi-finals. And so I think psychologically, this team is going into this group, into this tournament with the expectation that they're also going to win the group and the opening match against Portugal.
Well, of course, Portugal was struggling in qualification. They almost didn't qualify. They had that playoff against Sweden and Ronaldo had to save them. You remember that. Do you think Germany can exploit on this Portuguese weakness? I mean, in some way when they actually meet Germany and Portugal?
I think it's both a weakness and an asset of this team, obviously. It's an asset because he's right now the world's best striker and he's so lethal in front of the goal. I mean, we all know that. But at the same time, if I look at some of the other players in the Portuguese side, those are players who you would not expect to see as starters at a top 5 team in the world right now. If I'm thinking of Hugo Almeida, Helder Postiga, some of the 2 other forwards that are used alongside Cristiano Ronaldo, they are not nearly anywhere to world class. And so the objective of Joachim Löw's side has to be obviously to neutralize Cristiano Ronaldo. Even if he scores just 1 goal, I think that you would be able to win the game. But if he goes, if you can control him, if you can contain him, obviously then you've got a massive task to face.
Well, on the subject of Cristiano Ronaldo, clearly he's a star. He recently won the Ballon d'Or of this year. I mean, a very hard-fought one indeed. But do you think there's an over-reliance of some sort Portugal have on him? What happens if he got, for example, if he were to get injured? What will Portugal be? Will it be, a huge...
Yeah, I mean, if you've got a moody Cristiano Ronaldo, that team suddenly looks pretty mediocre. I remember the second last qualification game which they played against Israel, which was a 1-1 in Portugal. And there Cristiano Ronaldo just wasn't his usual self. He was arguing with the referee. I think he was lazy at times. He didn't really want to go for the extra meter on the field. And that over-reliance is definitely a problem that this Portuguese team faces. But again, he's such a fantastic individual player. And there's no question that he's going to be motivated, that he wants to show to the world how capable he is on the World Cup stage. And so in that sense, I think the Portuguese people, they can expect him at his best, and the German defense can prepare for that as well.
Thanks, Matthias. Ghana may be one of the best teams in Africa, but they haven't been at their best in a while. The aging of Michael Essien, as well as injuries and lack of form by some of their stars, have led them vulnerable. In their last 6 matches, they have won 4 and lost 2. One of those defeats came against Japan in a friendly last September.
And we're off. Japan 0, Ghana 0 at the start of this first half. Japan will be kicking from right to left, slightly given away there by Nagatomo, and Ghana running down this right-hand side. They're having a little bit of joy down the right-hand side at the moment, Ghana. Oh, and it's going to come to a cross shot there, and it's been deflected. Is it deflected in? Number 13 there, Achiampong with a shot. I think it was deflected. The cross comes in. And a little bit of a hiccup in the Japan defense there, and there was a big ricochet there in the end of Uchida. Ball breaks again to Kagawa here, onto his right foot. He's got a shot on here if he can take it. That's a beautiful goal. Absolutely wonderful goal from Kagawa there. I think we're going to have a couple more substitutions for Ghana now as well. And the shot comes in, it's just riddled on the goalkeeper, and it's a goal. It's a goal for Japan. And I think it was Endo with the final touch there. But making a set play count would be good for Japan here. A goal cushion would be nice. Here comes the ball. Great header again. And the ball comes in to Keisuke Honda, who makes up for his shot in the first half. As Honda brings it away, the referee blows. And that's a satisfactory victory for Japan.
And you can see that match in full tomorrow on the Football Channel at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Despite that loss, Ghana went on to qualify for the World Cup the following month when they beat Egypt 7-2 on aggregate.
All right, Matthias, I mean, apart from Portugal, Germany are also going to be facing Ghana, and they're also underdogs in this competition. But what are your thoughts on Ghana at the World Cup?
for me, Ghana is a team that we really have to look out for in this tournament for a number of reasons. One is, if we look at the recent World Cup, when they went to the quarterfinals and when they were so unlucky not to qualify for the semi-final. Let's just remember the penalty kick that Asamoah Gyan couldn't make, and then they went out in penalty shootouts to Uruguay later on. Well, this is a team, I think, that is trying to rectify what happened at the last World Cup on American soil, and there are fantastic individual players. Kevin Prince Boateng is one of them. Michael Essien, he has come a bit into an old age, but I think he's still a world-class player. And they're all going to leave it on the field for the Ghana nation. They're really representing their jersey as much as you can expect to see that from any country. On top of that, I think they're also going to be accustomed, or it's much easier for them to adjust to the conditions and time zone differences which teams are going to face in Brazil. Whenever they go to World Cup qualifiers, they have to make the travel from Europe to Ghana to other African countries for those games. So for them, traveling in Brazil is going to be fairly easy, whereas teams such as Germany, they really have to adjust and get used to that.
How long do you think it will take for Germany to adjust? Because we just were talking about how Ghana might acclimatize to the climate in Brazil, but do you think it's going to be difficult, for example, if Germany came to, to play in the tropical climate? How long do you think it's going to take?
Yeah, absolutely. This is going to be very difficult, and I think we can also see how nervous Joachim Löw is about this, that he couldn't decide on a hotel in which the team was going to stay. In the end, he took the decision that the German Football Federation is basically going to build a hotel from scratch in which the German team was going to build. So we see how much emphasis is being put on creating an environment that is conducive to creating high performance in this tournament. And yet at the same time, we can also see that the coaches, the staff, they're not entirely comfortable with what they're going to find in Brazil. And for Joachim Löw, for everybody in Germany, this is a huge concern.
Well, of course, Germany will be playing USA, a team that is being coached by one of Germany's, he won the World Cup in 1994, Jürgen Klinsmann. I mean, what are your thoughts on Jürgen Klinsmann's technique? I mean, against Germany, because obviously he has a lot of experience with Germany and he's won the World Cup with them. I mean, what are your thoughts on this reunion?
As a coach, he's a great motivator, and some of his speeches which he gave to the German national team at the World Cup in 2006, they have been recorded and they are legendary, really. He's a fantastic motivator. He's also very good at emphasizing fitness and strengthening, and so we can expect to see a US team that is as fit as anybody else in the tournament. Personally, I think on the tactical side, he hasn't really kept pace with the developments of the game in the last decade. I don't see great innovations that the US national team is playing, but we also have to remember that he's fairly limited with the players that he's got at his hands. If we look at the quality of the players, this is a mediocre team by most standards.
Thank you, Matthias.
And you can see the USA in action against Italy from 2012 in a friendly on the Football Channel tomorrow at 4 p.m. It was a match where the USA beat Italy for the first time in 11 games over 78 years with a 1-0 victory thanks to Clint Dempsey's goal in the 55th minute.
That concludes our look at what could possibly be the group of death for this coming World Cup. Tomorrow, we review Group H in the last of our series on the World Cup. Our hosts, Rish Roshanrai and Ash Hashim, will be focusing on the teams that include one of Asia's top sides, South Korea. The Taeguk Warriors will be up against Algeria, Russia and Belgium, and our expert on Asian football, Shazad Haq, will be joining in with his thoughts. See you at 8 p.m.